All right, today we're going to look at comparing fractions, and there's a couple of different ways that you can do that. One of them, we could look at fractions on a number line. So if I'm looking at a half and 2/4, I see that they are equivalent. They're in the same spot on the number line. Now I could also do a diagram. So if I had a half and then here I have 2/4, and if I, made it perfectly equal pieces, then I would be able to see that, this would fit on top and it would be the same amount as well. So we can also use another method without a number line, and that is finding a common denominator. So if we find a common denominator, that makes it easy to compare fractions. So here I've got 4/5 and 2/3. So just by looking at them, I'm not real sure which one is bigger. So if I try to get a common denominator, I can compare them with like units, and that makes it easier to see which one is greater. So I'm going to multiply this one by 3/3. And so that gives me 12/15, because 4 times 3 is 12, 5 times 3 is 15. So now I want this one to also have a common denominator of 15. So if I multiply by 5/5, that's going to give me 15, and that gives me 10/15. So 2/3 is equivalent to 10/15. 4/5 is equivalent to 12/15. So now that they do have the same denominator, it's easier to see that 4/5 is the greater fraction. So 4/5 or 12/15 is greater than 10/15. So that's what you have to do. You have to find common denominators, and that will let you know for sure which one is equal. We don't just want to take a guess. Common denominators, would also help if you don't want to have to draw out the pictures. So I'm going to do another example. Let's say I had 4/6, and we'll say 2/3. So now for this one, I'm going to go ahead and I see that I could make this a denominator of 6. So if I multiply by 2/2, that gives me 4/6. So these happen to be equal to each other. 4/6 and 2/3 are equivalent fractions. Now I didn't have to change this one because I had a common denominator when I changed just one of them. So you can do that as well. And then, looking back over here at the number line, I could have put 4/4 here at 1. So 4/4 and 1 are the same thing. We know any same numerator and denominator is equivalent to 1. All right, so we'll try one more. Let's say I had 5/8 and 4/9. All right, so what I'm going to do, and some of you may be able to do this by just looking at reasoning, seeing how close this is to half or how close it is to 1. But we'll go ahead and we'll use our common denominator strategy. So if I multiply this one by 9/9, that gives me 45/72. And then I'm going to multiply this one by 8/8, which gives me 32/72. So I can see this one, 45/72, is going to be greater than my 32/72. So 5/8 is greater than 4/9. And you might have noticed, because 5 is more than half of 8, that this one was going to be bigger, because 4 is not quite half of 9. So that's another way that you could kind of use the reasoning to see that. But 45/72 is greater than 32, so that means 5/8 is greater than 4/9. All right, so you're going to have some practice like this where you have to find the fraction and which one is going to be greater than, less than, or equal to. So look at your Google form and you can go ahead and start that. If you have any questions, let me know.